how to work remotely and make it work. So if you're not familiar with me, hi, my name is Christy Noel. I am a career expert and the author of Your Personal Career Coach, Real World Experiences for Early Career Success, which is coming this summer. You can also find me at christynoel.com. So back to the topic at hand, how to work remotely and make it work. If you are like me and many other people, you're working from home right now, and maybe you've always worked from home, or maybe you are new to this. And what I'd love to hear from you is, what are some of the things that you've seen, some of the work from home fails that happened to you this week? I've seen spouses coming through the background of Zoom calls. I've seen been put on hold while colleagues had to reprimand their children who were a little more boisterous than maybe they wanted them to be on the call. My own dogs have barked at the difficult times or inappropriate times. I've had construction going on down the street in the middle, which were quiet all morning until, of course, I went went onto a video Zoom call, and then all the machines started up. So it was, I've had my own work from home fails this week, or some of them were mine and some were that I witnessed. So if you have any fails, please share them with me. I'd love to know. I've heard people standing up during a Zoom call and didn't have I'm trying to remember, was it no pants on or pajama pants? And suddenly all the colleagues and everybody saw that. So we're going to talk about how not to have those things happen to you today while you're working from home, and with the goal of making it effective and efficient. Whether it's permanent or long or short term, just during our COVID-19 stay at home, at least we can try to be productive. And with our potentially new normal of maybe working from home more often or more consistently, these tips should hopefully help. These are the ones that I do, and would love to hear if I missed any that are effective for you. So my number one rule is I get dressed. So I shower most days and I get dressed. Now I could be in casual clothes. I'm often in jeans and a sweatshirt, or jeans and a casual shirt. I am not a person who does well in pajamas or yoga pants, and I have nothing against yoga pants. You'll find me in them often, but typically not when I'm working. So I don't do my hair and makeup, but I do at least get dressed and put on shoes and try to get in that mindset of getting dressed for work and carry that into my home office. Speaking of which, my second tip is to make sure that I actually have an office. I am very lucky in that I do have a home office. So I do have a desk, and it's set up for me to be productive. So I have a second computer screen, I have good lighting, I have tools and space. I know not everybody has that opportunity. So wherever you are and whatever scenario you're in, I highly recommend that you create your office so that you have your space to go to, and hopefully you're not sharing that with anybody else in the home, if that's possible. And I know that's not always possible. I've got friends and colleagues who've been very creative in what their office looks like. That's been often a wine table or wine rack turned into a desk, a cardboard table, a folding table, the kitchen table, a beverage cart on wheels. That can be actually not a bad idea, because you can wheel it in when you need it and wheel it out with the room when you're done for the day. But whatever that workspace is for you, I highly encourage you, if possible, to make it your space. And that's where you go to on a daily basis when you go to work or you go to the office. And then when you're in that space or at that desk or at that wine rack table, then everybody else in the home knows that you are at work. Plus, again, it's a lot of it is getting into the mindset that I'm working, I'm at the office. This is, now I'm shifting from home mode to work mode. And I've also seen colleagues with, well, my computer's up on books right now or reams of paper. So whatever you need to do to be comfortable and still be able to effective and be efficient. One of my friends, Susan, is wonderful. She's totally skilled at working on her laptop in multiple rooms in the house. If you can do that, more power to you. That is not me. I'm not able to be able to stay focused and efficient doing that. So I have my office. My next tip is I block my calendar. So I put in meetings and calls into my calendar so that if anybody jumps into my company, if anybody jumps into my calendar to try and book me, they'll see that I'm not available. If I take a standard lunch break, I can book that in there. A lot of the people that I work with, they'll block off their morning times and their afternoon times or when they've broken for the day, so nobody can schedule them during that time, whether it's a client or a colleague. So, making sure you have those blocks to yourself for your breaks. If you're attending a webinar or a call, or just so that there are clear distinctions in your day of when you take a break. And I take a break, and don't eat your lunch at your desk or your office. Take that break. And for me, I'm a to-do list kind of gal. I love me a good to-do list, and I love checking it off, and I love the reward that I give myself when I am done. And oftentimes that's a break, whether it's lunch or a mid-afternoon snack or something. The other tip I have is to act professional. Probably goes without saying, but again, this goes back to whether I'm dressed so appropriately, so my desk area is clean behind me. If you think you're on a Zoom call and nobody is looking to see what your house looks like or who's back there, or if somebody's walking by, you're wrong. They're checking it out. So make sure it's neat and tidy and that it's got a professional image. If I were to slide my camera around, you would see that it does not look this neat and tidy in other parts of my office, but I'm not going to let you see that. But this is my way of saying I am a professional. Look at, I've got my act together. And so whether it's my dress, my office space, not my messy desk, not my unmade bed behind me, not my laundry basket. I had another colleague tell me he did a video recording and he had to redo it because he noticed that once he was done, there was a laundry basket in the back of it. So make sure you look around, set up your camera, set up your phone, to see that everything looks appropriately professional before you get started. Oh, I kind of went in the wrong order because be flexible and firm goes along with blocking off your calendar. So one thing I have realized is when I am working remotely is my day becomes sometimes a little longer on either end. I might get started a little earlier because somebody is available and wants to do a call earlier or at the end of the day, or whether it's client call or so. But that doesn't mean I'm chained to my desk for 12 or 14 hours, and I'm not suggesting you do that either by all means. And that's the flexible and firm part. But if I get a Slack message or I get an email message and it's important, somebody is probably expecting me to respond, and they know that I'm at home, and if it's not blocked off on my calendar or I didn't let somebody know that I was not going to be available, then there might be a time where I actually should respond, even if it's outside of my normal work hours. So, but I do encourage you to have some type of boundaries. And again, that goes back to blocking off your schedule. So you might block off the morning hours or the afternoon hours or the end of day, whatever that time is for you, so that it is in your head blocked off and then blocked off from anybody able to schedule time with you. So you want to work with those hours, but just know that there's some flexibility often, depending upon what you do, in that there might be times where you need to jump on a call or answer an email or do something a little outside of those. Oh, the other thing I do is I use Slack, and so I will set the Slack notification to at lunch or on a call or in a meeting or some other, if I know that I'm not going to be able to respond to a Slack message for a period of time. So that's another way I block off my calendar. And so nobody's wondering, like, well, I sent her Slack, where is she? And is she not working? Is she away? Then I'll at least be able to see, oh, okay, she's blocked off, and they can expect to get back to me, or they'll expect me to get back to them once I'm done at lunch with the pizza icon on my Slack. This is an important one. Eliminate distractions. And to all your parents, I know that is easier said than done. But one of the things that I do is I've silenced my phone, for example. I know I'm going to be talking to you, so I've silenced my phone. My dogs are in the other room with no access to this room or to the outside, to keep them hopefully quiet this week. I did not give them a treat before I came in here, but that would be another opportunity to try and keep the distractions to a minimum. If you have children, maybe give them a task or a project. Let them know exactly how long you're going to be on a call or on a video call or on a webinar, so that they can stay focused on and try to keep quiet and occupied and busy for that set amount of time. And then let everybody know when you're off the call. So if there are distractions, that's the time to have them peer questions for mom or dad or anything that has come up. And I think that's really important. As much as we might like to squeeze some extra quiet time, then you want to be able to have that quiet time when you need it most. So telling anybody in the house that you're starting a call or you're going to be on a webinar for an hour, and no questions at that time, and then saying, okay, I'm done, I'm available again. So whatever distractions you can eliminate, both from your perspective of keeping focused on the task at hand, but also if it's a call or a webinar or a Zoom call where there's other people on it, to have them be focused on what you're saying and what the project is, and not to have them be distracted by what's going on behind you as well. Just a few more of my tips. Preparing for calls. We've covered this in a little bit, but again, making sure you know what your background looks like if you're going to be on video. Making sure you've already downloaded any technology. Have you checked the audio? Do you know what the audio is going to sound like? Are you using an external mic? Is it going to work with whatever equipment you may or may not have? Do you have the dogs already set up and put away, and the kids planned, and the husband or the wife or whoever else is in the house, are they aware what the time block is? Testing all the equipment, testing what the background looks like. Highly recommend, if you're on a video call or Zoom call, that you turn on the camera before the call, with enough time to be able to figure out what does it look like. Sometimes I'm facing the other way and the background is a closet door, and I'm mortified when I get on camera and I realize the closet door's open, because I don't have a neat closet. I just don't. And I don't want anybody seeing that, including me. It gets me stressed. So make sure you've checked out the back. What people are going to be looking at is there's a picture of spring break when you're a college student and you're drunk on the that's going to be picked up, or something like that. So just prepare for your calls from the technology standpoint, from what you look like to what the background looks like. And if you're going to be standing up, if you don't have the right pants on, then make sure you don't stand up. But if you need to potentially get up and get something, make sure that you're appropriate if and when that happens. And home stretch. I know, hard one. Easier said than done, even for me. Stay off social, and I'm going to tell you why. One, it's a rabbit hole. You can get very distracted being on social media and how much time you spent before you know it. But mostly, if you're on a work computer, your employer can look at what you are doing on the computer. They have the ability and the right to do so. So if you're on social all day or if you're job hunting, that's not something you want to see, you want them to see. So either do that off hours, do it on your break, do it on a different computer or a different phone, but just don't be on, and I'm not saying it's, not to check Instagram or Facebook occasionally through the day, but you don't want to be there for long chunks of time or on LinkedIn job hunting for long chunks of time on the off chance that somebody is remotely checking out what you are doing. Or if you're like me, before you blink, before you know it, you've spent hours on end on something you didn't intend to do. And I am notorious for that. And that's one of the reasons that I have these kind of rules and guidelines in place. I'll tell myself, oh, I'll just do a quick load of laundry and then I'll come right back. And that load of laundry turns into another load in a dishwasher and cleaning the kitchen and checking on the dogs. And next thing I know, a very large chunk of time has gone by and I haven't done anything. So I try to make sure I put those chores and tasks either in my breaks or at the beginning of the day or the end of the day, so that it is more like my normal work routine and not just a quick, opportunity to do something I wouldn't normally do, like the laundry or go to the grocery store or something like that. I'm not saying that I don't do it. I'm not saying you shouldn't either. Sometimes it's great to go to the grocery store in the middle of the day when there's fewer people there and you can get in and out faster. But that's where I block off my calendar and make sure if I'm gone for a significant period of time, sometimes I'll tell the people that I work with or my boss that, hey, I've got this errand to run, or I'm just going to be not available from this period of time, but then I'll be back online from 4 to 6 or something like that. So that's the challenge of working remotely for me, is staying focused. I have shiny object syndrome. I can be easily distracted by a lot of things. So trying to stay focused on the task at hand and being productive and efficient. If there are any questions or if you've got any things that I missed, would love to hear it. Send them my way. If you have questions now or later, I address all questions and to answer all emails. You can read more about how to work remotely. Where did my sign go? How to work remotely and make it work at ChristyNoel.com. I have taken all these ideas and fleshed them out a little further. And if you would like to have my free guide on how to get promoted, 8 simple things to do to get promoted, you can check out ChristyNoel.com, get promoted. And it's some other tips to be efficient and effective to help you advance your career.